Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Fauzi I. In these very occasions, I would like to deliver my presentations, which has a title is Turkey's abroad politics toward the Israel-Palestine conflict in the Erdogan era. Here are the outline of my presentations. First, there's a background, and then research question, study case, political changes abroad, Turkey toward Palestine, Turkey's support for Palestine, and the last is conclusions. Let's just move for the first sections, that is background. Prior to Erdogan's era, Turkey's foreign policy began with Turkey becoming pro toward the West. This attitude of Turkey is what angers the Islamic countries in the Middle East that Turkey does not care enough about. Furthermore, Turkey eventually became a partner country to both the United States and its allies, thus making Turkey an extension of the interests of Western countries in the Middle East. Turkey itself is a member of the NATO military alliance, which operates a lot to implement Western interests. Turkey has openly developed its foreign policy role in the dynamics of Middle East regional politics, especially in the Arab Spring events. Turkey has various attitudes toward the Arab-Israel conflict. This began with Turkey's attitude as a member of the Arab League, which was originally an ally of Israel, then turned into an enemy of Israel, which is currently in a conflict with Arabs. Turkey has been a friendly country of Israel since 1949. Turkey is the first Muslim majority country to acknowledge Israel's independence, which is in conflict with Arab and its free trade partner with Israel since January 2000. Turkey's proximity to Israel has often angered Arab countries where the Arabs experience conflict with Israel. However, because of one incident, namely the flotilla incident and the prophecy about Turkey, Turkey immediately turned 180 degrees into Israel enemy. Since the crisis in Gaza in 2008, Turkey has heavily criticized Israel's policy. Turkey's Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan strongly criticized Israel's action at the World Economic Forum conference in Davos in September 2009. On 11 October 2009, relations became more tense when Israel was banned from participating in joining military exercise in Anatolia, Turkey. Initially, the exercise will be carried out with Turkey, Israel, the United States, and Italy. However, Turkey refused to allow Israel to attend. In response to this, the United States later withdrew from the exercise. In Erdogan's era, Turkey's foreign policy, which tended to the Middle East, had aroused the spirit of the people of the Middle East who are currently experiencing the turmoil of democratizations. This means that Turkey is back pro-Middle East. This was evident when Turkey's Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan arrived in Egypt for a series of meetings with the Foreign Minister of Egypt, Tunisia, and Libya. The change in Turkey's foreign policy from pro-Israel to Turkey's foreign policy, which is pro-Palestinian, was caused by the perception of or view of Turkey's foreign policy in the Middle East that changed under Erdogan's leadership. Under Erdogan's leadership, Turkey came up with a strategy known as Al-Amaq al-Strategy, or we can say that intensive political strategy, where this politics emphasize politics that is based on Turkey's geostrategic conditions. Thus, that is Turkey's new political strategy, namely guaranteeing the safety and national security of Turkey without going through self-limitations and isolations, but rather having a perception of openness and applying soft power politics to neighbors countries. Next sections is research questions. Here, based on the background described above, The problem formulations in this study are: what are the forms of Turkey's al-Amik strategy on the problem of the Israel-Palestinian conflict? Let's just move into the study case. In the case of Turkey, the Turkish government used individual characteristics as executor or facilitators, which originate from the desire to return to the greatness of the nation in the past, in the form of nationalist influence back to Usmani Sufism. Based on the problems that occur between the Israel-Palestinian conflict, Turkey implemented the Al-Amik strategy in the form of: first, there's the Al-Amak strategy that was implemented in Turkey during Erdogan's administrations, emphasized the political reform that side with Turkey's geostrategy, so that the pattern of Turkey's foreign policy tended to support a country that was close to Turkey geographically and historically, which would benefit Turkey's position as one of the strongest countries in the Middle East. And the second, as we can see here, in looking at the Israel-Palestinian conflict, the Al-Amak strategy used by Turkey tends to show a neutral stance in the sense of placing Turkey as a Middle Eastern country that has a high points of peace. What Turkey has done in this case is to support Palestine to gain independence and provide humanitarian support, but on the other hand, Turkey does not declare war on Israel, even though it has given a strong reaction by freezing cooperation with Israel. For the next sections, there is political changes about Turkey toward Palestine, which is Turkey is support for Palestine. Recep Tayyip Erdogan's victory was preceded by Erdogan's being elected as the 12th president of Turkey as a result of the Turkish presidential elections, which was held on August 10, 2014. Erdogan, in leading the Republic of Turkey to continue the zero enemies policy with all the countries of the world. Zero enemies foreign policy like this, which give an advantage to Turkey's position in Europe with the status of developing country and even in Asia as a model of example for Middle Eastern countries towards significant progress of the country through international corporations. The change in Turkey's foreign policy from pro-Israel to Turkey's foreign policy which is pro-Palestine is because Erdogan has the characteristic of a peace-loving leader. Erdogan's effort to lead the Republic of Turkey to continue the zero enemy policy with all countries of the world according to the principle of peace-loving Sufism. Erdogan pursued this ideology as the basis for the creation of security, peace, and religious tolerance. In more real terms, the form of Turkish support for Palestine are as follows. First, there's a Turkey support for Palestine to become a member of United Nations. Second, Turkey's support for Palestine in the form of food aid. And the last is Turkey's support for Palestine in the form of educational assistance. First, one of the form of Turkey's support for Palestine is helping the Palestinian struggle to become a member of the United States. The struggle for Palestine to gain world recognition as a sovereign state has finally received brilliant result. The United States General Assembly on Thursday, 29 November 2012, overwhelmingly recognized Palestine as a non-member state in the world organizations. A victory for Palestine, especially President Mahmoud Abbas, in the eyes of America and Israel, who oppose it. Of the 193 member states of the General Assembly of the United States, there is 138 member state agrees that Palestine is no longer merely an observer entity, but has become a non-member observer state. Second, Another form of Turkey support for Palestine is in the form of food aid. Assistance consists of various basic needs which include foodstuff, fuel, and clothing. For distribution, it cooperates with Ministry of Social Affairs of Gaza to be distributed to Gazans in need. On Thursday, 7 July 2016, a Turkish aid ship carrying 11,000 tons of supplies for the Gaza Strip left the southern port of Mersin. And the last is Turkey's support for Palestine in the form of educational assistance. Apart from the food sector, Turkey's support for Palestine is in the form of educational assistance. Regarding this, Deputy Prime Minister Fauzi Kaynak said that Turkey will continue to assist the Palestinian people in the field of education. All these projects will be completed thanks to an agreement that the largest Palestinian hospital, which is being built by the Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency, or as we know is TIKA, will be opened soon. The ultimate goal is to ensure the Palestinians can receive an education, live happily and freely in their own country, and enjoy the same right as everyone else, especially in the field of education. Let's move to the last sections, which is conclusions. In conclusions, we can conclude that the change in Turkey's foreign policy from pro-Israel to Turkish foreign policy, which is pro-Palestinian, is because Erdogan has the characteristic of peace-loving leader. Erdogan's effort to lead the Republic of Turkey to continue the zero-enemy policy with all countries of the world according to the principles of peace-loving Sufism. Erdogan pursued this ideology as the basis for the creation of security, peace, and religious tolerance. The change in Turkey's foreign policy from pro-Israel to Turkish foreign policy, which is pro-Palestinian, was caused by the precision of view of Turkish foreign policy in the Middle East that changed under Erdogan's leadership. Under Erdogan's leadership, Turkey came up with a strategy known as Al-Amak al-Strategy, or as we know, intensive political strategy, where this political emphasizes political that is based on Turkey's geostrategic condition and become of a change in the orientation of Turkey's foreign policy, which is divided into domestic and international. The future of Turkey's foreign policy in Erdogan's era is related to Turkey, which is known to have a long history of involvement in the world of international politics. So this is the end of my presentations. Hope you guys can understand every single word that I am saying. Thank you very much for your time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.